Now, before I begin on the main stories that I want to talk about, I have to acknowledge at 10 something this morning Eastern Time, it was announced that Jerry Springer left this mortal coil and went to the great beyond, to whatever his destiny is. Jerry Springer, of course, was the mayor of, I believe, Cincinnati, and was also a talk show host of his very popular but controversial talk show, which was one of the progenitors of trash TV in the late 90s and early 2000s. But off of that, we also got Steve Wilkos, whose show I believe is still going even to this day. And later in life, when he was a little more calmed down, we got the Judge Jerry Show, which is still being replayed right now in syndication. So rest in peace, sir. Now to the subject at hand, or the subjects I want to discuss. Apparently, Facebook and whoever owns their streaming services has canceled Red Table Talk. Of course, the controversial talk show featuring Jada Pinkett Smith, where she has talked about a variety of topics and has stirred a lot of controversy. Most famously, or infamously, the entanglement segment, where she talked about her affair with August Alsina, of course, with husband Will Smith sitting right there front and center, and he can say what he wants, but the fact that she was saying that basically a 20-something young boy made her feel better than his late 40s, early 50s grown behind. Very humiliating. But anyway, it was canceled recently. And let me say, if all this checks out, they could say it was because of budget cuts. But let's be honest. Has anyone really been talking about that show recently? Has anyone really been peeping that show or mentioning anything from that show? Has that show even been on recently? Just saying. Is it really budget cuts, or it's because it's not drawing like it once was? I'll let you be the judge, but I can't say. I never watched an episode. I've only seen the clips, so I can't say I'll miss it. Now take a look at this crap. This crap right here that I got from off of Facebook, and as it's scrolling down, basically it's some little comic strip showing some balding white dude sitting in a chair. This black woman asking, "What can you do?" He goes, "Black power." He turns into this very, look like he done shedded about 50 pounds, done grew an afro, turned black. He said it only lasts for an hour. I mean, you can read the strip as it's scrolling. I gotta say, when I saw this, I'm like, what is this? This is cheap ass Shazam? Or something? What, Dollar General Black Adam? I mean, come on. Going from transgender to transracial. It's almost like, I don't know if they're serious or if they're trying to make fun of the woke crowd by doing this, but I'm like, this is stupid. This better be satirical towards the woke crowd. Because, I mean, at least when Billy Batson turned into Captain Marvel, the original Captain Marvel, I might add, at least when he turned into Captain Marvel by saying, Shazam, at least he kept the same race. At least when Black Adam was in his power, he kept the same race. He didn't turn white. I mean, Shazam, Billy Batson didn't turn black. I just hope it's just a commentary on woke culture. Because if it's anything but, if this is something that's seriously trying to be pushed, I'm gonna be like, ain't like my old series, ain't this some boo? And finally, the main event of this video, so to speak. Apparently, the name of Bianca Bel-Air has been brought up recently in a lawsuit filed by former employee Brittany Abrams. Bianca Bel-Air has been highlighted in this lawsuit, claiming by Abrams that she complained about a lot of scripts that she felt was discriminatory against black women and black people in general. Within the lawsuit, there are claims regarding current Raw Women's Champion, the Raw Women's Champion, I should say, who stated she had major issues in saying the line, don't make me take my earrings off and beat your ass, because it made her sound ghetto. The lawsuit went in more depth regarding her arguments with Creative, which you can see, well, rather, as I'm reading to you. It said, plaintiff also requests, plaintiff meaning Miss Abrams, for protocol on moving forward with her complaint. In conversation with Miss Bel-Air the following day, Miss Bel-Air informed plaintiff that she told Kevin Dunn, old chipmunk face, Kevin Dunn, 3 different times that I don't want to say that line, but he never listens to me. He puts up that line in every week, unquote. Miss Bel-Air said the script's discriminatory line makes her look ghetto. And this isn't the first time this type of verbiage has come up. WWE, and let's be honest, pro wrestling in general, WWE in particular, but pro wrestling as a whole, has always had a bad history of stereotyping anyone that is not white, and more specifically, not male. It has a bad history of stereotyping non-white people and non-white males in general. WWE being the biggest culprit, but let's be honest, you can find examples in the AWA, World Class, Mid-South, and even though I love Mid-South and I love Mid-Atlantic Jim Crockett Wrestling, there are stereotypes there. They were like the second and third biggest culprits. Championship Wrestling from Florida. I'm 48 years old, so for those of you that know the names of these territories I'm naming, you know what I'm talking about. There's been a long history of wrestling, and not just with black folks. You can find it with the Asian folks. You can find it with the Hispanics. Heck, even just a few years ago with Mansoor, they wanted to do a love triangle thing with Mansoor, Angel Garza, and Aaliyah, where Mansoor admits that he was responsible for 9/11. Now keep in mind, this is the same company that got in big trouble for doing a terrorist angle with I think Muhammad Assad, I think was his name, with The Undertaker back in 2005. I remember when that feud was going on back in 2005, and this happened, and this angle aired the day of a terrorist attack in London. Now, they couldn't help the terrorist attack, but even before that, it was already being seen in poor taste. You'd think Vince McMahon and these cats would have learned their lesson back then, but apparently they hadn't. Thank goodness the Mansoor angle did not air. I mean, come on. I mean, 9/11, now, regardless of what you think, whether, we black people don't care about 9/11. No, forget that. The bottom line is people died in that. It was a major event in this country. Whether you care about it and hold it close to your heart or don't give a crap about it, bottom line is people died that day. There's certain things that should never be touched, and if you're going to touch them very delicately. WWE has a history of doing anything but. Basically, if you ain't white, male, and even rich. So basically, if you ain't the right color, if you ain't the right gender, and if you ain't got the right money, they are gonna crap on you, because they've crapped on even white people before. Remember that We the People thing with the right wing thing, making fun of certain segments of right wing people, particularly the poor. Just saying, man. But so this story, if it's true that this Miss Brittany Abrams, who is black, by the way, if she got fired over standing up for Bianca Bel-Air, basically, and get the reason they fired her. They fired her for taking a WrestleMania chair home. I'm not kidding. They allegedly fired her for taking a WrestleMania chair home. Oh, I mean, of all the petty reasons to fire her, you picked that. When it was probably because she dared to stand up to Kevin Dunn and say, hey, one of our biggest talents is complaining about this line, and I agree with her. This sounds very ghetto, which it does. It really does. It really does, which finally, I mean, and that's been one of the few complaints about Bianca Belair. Not only from black fans, but even non-black fans who actually like Bianca Belair. That a lot of her promos and stuff sound too ghetto. That's been a complaint for a while. And they'll notice they haven't been as bad recently. So finally, something's penetrated those thick skulls. Maybe. But the fact is, oh my God. Really, WWE, you'd think you would have learned your lesson by now, or at least get writers to know it. But then again, just because he's a black writer doesn't necessarily mean he or she knows how to write black folks. Because you got black directors and stuff that still go for the most base, stereotypical caricature of our people. So just because they're black instead of white don't necessarily mean they'll write a black person correctly. Now, if they come from that kind of environment and stuff, that's different. That's different. But when you got a person like Bianca Crawford, aka Bianca Belair, who was a world-class athlete from track and field, who went through what she went through, who came from a two-parent home, who came from a good neighborhood, who did not grow up ghetto necessarily. And yet you're going to put all these stereotypes on her? No, I actually agree. Now, it's one thing to put it on somebody like R-Truth, who actually did come from the streets. Who actually did. And the only reason R-Truth got away with it is because it was actually funny. He actually made it funny. Yeah, it was stereotypical too, but R-Truth was actually entertaining. You could get away with it with him because he knew how to make it funny. In the case of Bianca Belair, it doesn't fit at all. Because like I said, this is a woman that grew up in a two-parent home. This is a woman that grew up in a good home, good neighborhood, good family with some morals and some discipline. And she was a world-class athlete. I mean, this is not that chick. I can't think of her name right now. I'm sure somebody will put it in the comment section. This is not that chick that got busted for marijuana a couple years ago, and then her career basically went to shit after that. This is not that chick that went on ghetto. Bianca Belair is far from that. She represents herself, her husband, her community, and our people well. To portray her like that, I agree, is rather lowbrow. So if any part of this lawsuit is true, I hope old girl wins. But anyway, that's all I want to cover. I just want to cover multiple things instead of just one particular thing in a video. Anyway, I'm out. Y'all have a nice day, folks.